everyone. So, The Wizard of the Kremlin is not the kind of political drama that screams for attention. Instead of loud speeches, explosive confrontation, or flashy display of power, director Oliver Asses chooses a colder, quieter approach that slowly puts viewer into the terrifying mechanics of modern Russian politics. The film unfolds almost like a whispered confession, and that restrained style becomes its greatest strength. Based on fictionalized version of real-life political strategist Vladislav Surkov, the story follows Vadim Barnov, played brilliantly by Paul Dano. Barnov is the man working behind the curtain, shaping narratives, manipulating public perception, and helping build the political machine that would eventually strengthen Vladimir Putin's grip on Russia. From the opening moments, the film makes it clear that this isn't simply a biopic or political thriller. It's a study of how power quietly corrupts system, cultures, and people over time. Paul Dano delivers one of the most restrained performances of his career. He speaks softly throughout the film, forcing audiences to lean into every word. But that softness never feels weak. Instead, it reflects Barnow's complete confidence and control. He rarely raises his voice because he never needs to. Dano plays him as a man who understands how influence works better than everyone else in the room. Even when surrounded by chaos, Barnow remains calm, observant, and calculating. The film is framed through the perspective of a Western journalist named Roland, played by Jeffrey Wright, who seeks out Barnow while researching post Soviet Russia. Through their conversation, the audience slowly watches the transformation of Russia from the collapse of Soviet Union to the rise of Putin's authoritarian image. What makes the screenplay effective is how casually horrifying everything feels. Major political decision, betrayals, and manipulations are discussed almost conversationally, which makes the film even more unsettling. SS avoids making the story overly dramatic. Instead, he presents corruption and political engineering as routine business. There are moments of dark humor throughout, but they only make the larger tragedy more disturbing. One minute, Banav is mocking the failures of post Soviet greed and artistic rebellion, and the next he is helping construct a dangerous political mythology around Putin. Jude Law's portrayal of Vladimir Putin is another major highlight. Rather than turning him into a caricature, Law presents him as disciplined, observant, and constantly calculating. His Putin feels dangerously precise because he appears so controlled. Small moments like ordering a simple bowl of kasha at an expensive restaurant quietly reveal the character's mentality and obsession with image, restraint, and authority. Law captures the unsettling sense that Putin is always thinking several steps ahead of everyone around him. The supporting cast also leaves strong impact. Alicia Vikander plays Ksenia Baranov's complicated love interest with a fascinating mix of cynicism and emotional distance. Her character evolves throughout the story, constantly reinventing herself depending on the political climate around her. Meanwhile, Trom delivers one of the film's most tragic subplots as a former ally whose loyalty eventually destroys him. Visually, the film embraces coldness and isolation. Snow covered landscape, dim interiors, and muted color create an atmosphere that feels emotionally suffocating. Even scenes involving wealthy and political influence feel empty rather than glamorous. ASS intentionally strips away spectacle to focus on the quiet machinery of authoritarianism. What makes the Wizard of Kremlin so effective that it never feels like a history lesson. Instead, it feels like watching a society slowly surrender itself piece by piece. The film explores propaganda, power, loyalty, and ambition without simplifying its character into heroes or villains. Banov himself is neither fully monstrous nor sympathetic. He is a man who wanted to shape history rather than simply observe it, and the consequences of that choice ripple throughout the entire history. At times, the film's deliberate pacing and subdued tone may test some viewers' patience. It refuses to provide easy emotional payoffs or dramatic explosion. But for audiences willing to sit with its quiet tension, The Wizard of the Kremlin becomes deeply chilling. It's less interested in shocking viewers than in making them understand how systems of power are carefully built, normalized, and protected. By the end, the film leaves behind a lingering sense of dread, not because of any single event, but because it presents political manipulation as something frighteningly ordinary. Oliver Ashes crafts a smart, unsettling political drama powered by excellent performance from Paul Dano and Jude Law, delivering a film that feels eerily relevant and disturbingly believable. Thank you for watching. Bye.